Hey guys, I'm driving, so just trying my video out, seeing how it works, seeing how distracting it is. But I have something on my heart I'm really wanting to share. I was thinking about to put a post up on Facebook, and I was like, no, I'm gonna make a video. So listen guys, the most powerful voice in your life is your own. I don't think we have been raised with the understanding of how powerful our own voice is in our life. We have the ability to speak life over ourselves into our own spirit, and what we speak and what comes out of our mouth, it begins to become reality. We begin to believe it if we hear it often enough, if it's truth. You can convince yourself that you're worthless and you're a loser and that you're never going to be successful. In fact, most of us are already convinced of that without having to tell ourselves that. Where does that come from? It comes from other people putting things in our ears and us belittling ourselves, and we begin to believe that. It becomes our identity, and we begin to live that. But what if the positive and the good side, the other side of that, is more powerful than the negative? What if you could begin to say the right things, say what you know that you are, what God says about you, what God has placed inside of you, who you know you are, because inside of each person there's a deep believing, deep knowledge that if I just did this right, or if I just got that right, or if this guy prayed for me, I could do it. So at the core of it, we all believe that we're capable, we just don't know how to get there. But one of the revelations that I've had lately, been real powerful in my own life, has been, I started out with like a positive mirror talk. I look myself in the mirror every morning, and I say the things about myself that I know I can accomplish. I say things like, I'm powerful, I'm gonna be happy today, I'm gonna be successful. Today is a step in the right direction. Nothing can happen to me today that's gonna bring me down and that will cause me to live in depression or anxiety or worry, the spirit of fear that tries to attack me all the time, the fear of failure, all those things. I will rise above them today, and they will not dominate and control my life. And as I began to speak those things over myself, I mean, I've had a pretty secure identity for quite a while and who I am and what I can do, but it is it has furthered that belief in me that I really can do anything that I believe. But it starts with believing. And so I was declaring a couple months ago, I said, I'm going to begin to build a belief system that I can walk on. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to begin to do and accomplish the things in my life because I believe I can. So I believe, and then I do. You can do it the other way around, but it's a lot shakier. It doesn't last near as long. It's not near as solid. But if you build a belief system, and then everything you do comes out of that belief system, so now you're doing because you're believing in it. It's just like if you're trying to sell someone on a product that you really don't believe in, but the company told you it was good and you heard testimonies about it, that's great. But if you used it in your own life and it worked for you, and then you sell it, it's a completely different ball game. You know for a fact that this is truth and it works, and you come at it from a different angle. You have a different body posture, you have a different energy, you have a different body language about yourself. And we just don't realize how powerful our own voice is in our own life. So when you begin to build belief systems that you can stand on, that you begin to you're the inner self. There is something in each one of us that is so powerful and so deeply rooted in us that if you connect to it and you begin to build on that thing, that when you begin to walk out on this belief system that you've created through that, nothing can stop you. And I'm beginning to feel that in my life in so many different areas where I thought I couldn't, or I didn't know if I had what it took. But I am saying the right things out of my mouth. I'm not waiting on somebody else to come up and tell me that what I want to hear. You know, if you have good people in your life, that's awesome. I'm all about that. But if you don't, Or even if you do, still do it. And most people don't have the people, and at least not as much as is healthy, of positive people that have respect. Somebody's calling me. Speaking into your life. So do it yourself. Your own voice is the most powerful influencer that you have in your life. Now, there's probably people going to disagree with me on this. You can read books. And by the way, I'm not talking about Holy Spirit. I'm not talking about the voice of God. If you're a Christian with a relationship and you hear God in your life, I'm not talking about that. I am talking about the influence that you get from reading a book, from hearing things from your friends, from going to church, from being around the right people, going to meetings, whatever. But that stuff is such a small part of your life. And for me to begin to build something inside of me and to convince myself that I have a belief system that I can walk out on and that nothing is going to stop me, I have got to begin to speak those words from my own mouth, and it has got to be deeper than someone else saying, you can do this. That's great, I love to hear that, but it doesn't really build a foundation unless somebody is pounding it in me every single day, and I don't have that person that's going to tell me every day that I can do it, that I am powerful. So the words that come out of your mouth are powerful, man. If you ever had anxiety or fear or started to panic about something, because what I went through with PTSD, with drug addiction, extreme depression, all those things, I would have this voice in my head and it would become so powerful. I didn't know how to fight it, so guess what? I fed into it. My thought process began to become wrapped around what I was thinking and what I was hearing. I realized that most of the words coming out of my mouth were in alignment with the negative that I was hearing. And soon I believed, especially in my addiction, and really in the anxiety and depression, and especially the depression and the PTSD symptoms, I mean, I was convinced that I couldn't get out. I thought I tried everything. But everything that came out of my mouth said I wasn't trying anything. So if you want to start somewhere, I'm telling you guys, if you'll just take the time, I put notes on my mirror. I got to where I wasn't doing it every day. And I'm like, this is crazy. I'm going to do this every single day. So I put notes, suggestions on what to say, started hanging stuff around my house, put stuff in my car, and it's always there. I don't always say what's on the paper, but it reminds me to speak power, to speak positive things, to speak those things that I want, to begin to establish that belief system in me that is so strong that now it's my voice, it's my life, it's what I believe. So now nothing else anyone can say to me, the circumstances of my day do not determine what I believe is going to be the outcome of this day. Because circumstances are nothing more than an opportunity for you to stand up and for you to rise above the circumstances, for you to prove to yourself and to show others that there's a better way. You're not a victim. This victim mentality that so many people that are caught in depression and struggling with all these things, it feels like you're trapped and you can't get out. But start by saying nice things about yourself. Start by speaking life and what you want into your life. Life is, the Bible says the power of life and death are in the tongue. And so if your words are that powerful, then your words can become worlds. And I want the world that I'm walking into, the world I believe that God has for me, the world that I want, the dream that I have, the dream in my heart that is alive and is excited, that dream, I want it to be positive, power, success, hope. My greatest desire is to give hope to other people, and that's really why I'm making this video. So sorry, I'm getting really pumped up, really wired about this subject, but I see so many people that aren't speaking what they want. Let your mouth say it. Let your friends say it. Don't hang out with people that are going somewhere that you don't want to go. You have so much more inside of you than you know. There has been placed within every person enough to get you to the highest mountaintop, to fulfill the greatest dream of your heart. You have got to connect to it. And if you're in depression, anxiety, struggling with any other of those symptoms, whatever it might be, drug addiction, a bad relationship, then where you're going is not where you're at, and you've got to figure out a way to start separating yourself. Start getting that journey to where your life is just taking you because you're like this victim that's just being swayed by all the circumstances in your life. You've got to figure out a way to build a belief system that's gonna take you to where you know you want to go. Don't be a victim. Don't let negative things bring you down. And above all, keep God first and speak power, life, hope, and the things you want. Speak those things into your everyday life. Let them be part of who you are. Let your heart and your spirit grip those things, and they will become, it will become your reality before it actually is. Because no one can tell you different when you firmly and fully believe something that you can accomplish, you know it, and every person has the ability to believe the truth about who they are, and we all have what it takes. We have what it takes. Everything else is a lie from the pit of hell. So, be kind to yourself. Love yourself. Put yourself around the right people. Get healthy. Man, find something to be passionate about. I'm not talking about a hobby that you can do when it's warm. Find something that drives you, that you love doing, that nothing will keep you from getting there. If you're in love with someone and you have plans in the evening, you'll see them before or you'll see them after. Okay, if you love something, your mind becomes, starts to think of that thing, and you will find a way to get there. So find something to fall in love with. No, I'm not talking about a person. I'm talking about something that's positive in your life, whether it's business, whether it's becoming supernaturally, spiritually supercharged. For me right now, it's health and spiritual, physical and spiritual health. I'm really passionate about both. The gym, I'm back in the gym for a month, and it is just like last summer when I was doing this. It changed my life. It changes the way I think. I'm so driven, giving back to people, and I have this heart to give hope to other people, and I'm so passionate about it that I'll take off of work if I need to, if I have an opportunity. I'm getting some opportunities to speak at some places, share my story. Interesting story behind all that. But yeah, guys, I love you guys, and love yourself.